I'm good. I'm good. I'm very glad. I don't know how to work this call thing, so I apologize. And I didn't know. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I stated that.
You
Hello.
start from the beginning.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes. Hello, Brandon. How are you?
I'm making it. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very glad. I don't know how to work this call thing, so I apologize. And I didn't know. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I stated that my name is Stephanie. I have been investigating your case independently, obviously, for obvious reasons, and I'm really thankful that you decided to have this conversation with me so we can get some clarity on what's going on and we can figure out what's happening. So,
Okay.
So I would like, if you would like, I would like to start just from the beginning for the little time that we have remaining. Tell me why do you think you ended up in Ellis County Jail? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I mean, from what I've been charged with, I mean, that's what I know why I'm here for. I mean, of course, as you know, they're still investigating this stuff. I don't know, really, to be honest with you, I don't know how much to give here.
Yeah.
And what to give and what not to give, considering everything that's going on. Tell you the truth, I don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like I said, I just know since last year, my life has been torn upside down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've been locked up for over 3 months.
Yes.
I've been locked up for over 3 months fighting for my life every single day. And so right now, I really don't know what to think about it right now. All I can think about is making sure that my name is clear.
So she sent me here directly, privately, because she wanted to make sure that you spoke with someone trusted. So I just wanted to let you know that. Take that with a grain of salt if you like, but that's just me being infallible to you.
Yeah.
And getting an understanding, right? Clear your name, right? That's the most important thing to you.
Right.
So I want to ask you a question and share as much or as little as you can. I'm trying to get an understanding of how you got there. Now, I understand the charges, right? But how you got there is the foundational understanding of where we're going to be able to dissect this story to shed some light on it. The first question.
Go ahead.
The first question I want to ask you is, what was the nature of the relationship between you?
I had no idea what 100 calories looked like until I tried this. I thought I was eating healthy, but I never realized I was eating over 3,000 calories most days because I ate dense snacks like peanut butter or sweets that didn't fill me up, so I'd need to eat more to feel full. Then my friend told me to try this app, Noom Weight, and it helped me lose weight using psychology. I've changed my relationship with food by learning about things like caloric density, which helped me find foods that help me stay full while losing weight.
What was the nature of the relationship between you and Cora prior to your incarceration? Was it good? Was it bad?
No, we had a great relationship from my understanding. You know, we had a great relationship from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? We've been married. We just celebrated an anniversary. I mean, for me, life was good. Life was real good. And I felt like it was the same on both sides. So that was my relationship.
Do you think so? The charges, the allegation came after Cora returned from her trip to California to see Sarah and Mackenzie. Have you ever tried to piece together what exactly occurred on that trip and why everything kind of fell out after that trip?
No, I didn't try to piece together the trip thing. That was just another trip. It was another trip. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing about that seemed different than any other trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, no, it wasn't a thought even about the trip. You know what I'm saying? I think everything for me, I don't even know. Like for me, it was another day, and from that day, everything went south.
So, so let me ask you this. After you were accused, right? Cora tells you that Amari has made these allegations against you. Do you believe that Cora believed Amari?
I don't even know how to answer that. I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I really don't know. Um, all I know is that it was, like I said, all I know is I was accused, and from that point on, I zoned in on what the hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And started, like, I can't even tell you much around that. But really, that's kind of where I've been. That's where I was at, and now it's just every day is trying to figure out what that was, what that really was. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know how to go about it. I don't really know how to think about it just yet. But like I said, I'm working to get my name clear.
Yeah.
That's all I'm focused on right now.
Do you think this is a conspiracy?
That would be hard for me to think about. That would be hard for me to consider. Real life.
Yeah.
Real life. That would be hard for me to consider because, like I said, all I've ever known was that this was a good relationship. This was a good. I loved my family. I love my family, and anybody who knows me knows that I love my family up to the bottom, like from top to bottom. I love my family. And all I ever knew was they loved me back. So for me to consider anything other than that is tough, to be honest with you.
I believe it was a setup.
That's true.
Do you believe this was a setup?
I don't know. Like I said, I think, like I said, it's hard for me to consider that. But it's something. It's got to be something because I'm here.
Right. Well, so you prior to being arrested in Ellis County, you were doing your due diligence, right, to collect as much evidence to figure out basically, right, like what is this? You were sent some information to your device, to your phone. You were sent some information to your phone. Did you have anybody helping you collect evidence? Was there any family members of the Jakes or your family who was helping you collect evidence to basically exonerate yourself?
I don't know how to answer that neither.
Okay.
But yeah, I was trying to collect evidence to make sure that I got what I needed to make sure that everybody knew. When it came down time, that everybody knew that I was innocent and I didn't do this. And that was my goal, is to make sure that I had anything that could prove my innocence.
Was Cora helping you collect evidence?
I got my evidence from different files and stuff like that I had access to. There were, like I said, I really don't know how to answer that question outside of that, especially right now. So I really just wanted to make sure that I had what I needed to take care of me.
Okay. Was Jermaine Jakes helping you?
No, none of that.
Okay. So you were basically collecting evidence for your own exoneration by yourself. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, briefly tell me, did you ever get into an argument with Cora about wanting to leave the relationship and taking the kids with you?
No.
Okay. one other additional question I want to ask. Well, there's a few questions I want to ask. I want to just circle back to some of the information that you had in your cell phone, in your possession. It was a recording of Cora speaking with Amari about the allegations. How did you get that recording?
Get early access to exclusive President's Day coupons. Rooms to go.
Hold on, guys.
Get early access to exclusive President's Day coupons. Rooms to Go has exciting President's Day offers lined up, including
About the allegations. How did you get that recording?
I got that it was sent to me.
Who sent it?
Like I said, right now I don't even know if I'm even sharing it, if I'm supposed to share that information right now. Like I said, I don't know where this goes or how this goes, really.
Okay. That's okay. You don't have to share that.
Yeah, so like I said, I got that information, and I'm glad I did.
Okay. Because I heard it, and it's exactly what it was supposed to do, right? The audio recording is very much telling. It's and this is just my personal opinion. It is very telling, and it seems pretty leading. It seems like it seems very coached, if you will. But that's privately what I believe. So however you possessed it, I suppose it's good that you possessed it. I need to ask you now, are you innocent of these charges?
Yes, I'm innocent. Absolutely. And I've been in here for over 3 months fighting for my life and fighting for the rest of my life over this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And so, that's absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I have to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I got to hear it. I know it's how you feel. It's what you know, but you got to say it out loud. Sometimes you just got to proclaim it out loud so people get an understanding. Like, this is what he thinks. This is what he knows.
There's no reality, time or space that I'll ever be that person.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to ask you.
There's no place.
Got you. No, I got you. I respect that. Now let me ask you about when you first adopted Jason. When you first adopted Jason, do you believe that there was that Michelle was in a vulnerable state, and that it's reasonably believed that she was taken advantage of in order to get custody of Jason from Cora?
I believe that she could have been vulnerable. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any reasonable person, considering, even adoption or allowing someone to adopt their child, has to be pretty vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Right. So there was an incident that occurred that Michelle stated in a live video on Facebook that she was in your office with Cora, and she felt like she was being backed into a corner. Do you remember that?
Do I remember what?
Do you remember an incident with Michelle Loud in your office with Cora, in a cornering like situation where she felt like she was being backed into a corner, asking her for her baby? Do you remember that incident?
This video just broke up. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yes. So there was an incident that Michelle Loud stated on a live video on Facebook where she was stated that she was in your office with Cora, and Cora stated she was going to take her baby. Do you remember that?
I know that they met. I know that they met a handful of times.
Mm-hmm.
Her saying that she gonna take her baby, I don't remember that. I don't know if I was even in that conversation.
Okay.
So I can't attest to that.
Okay, and that's understandable. Now tell me about Amari. Where did Amari come from? Did you adopt her through an adoption agency? Did you have a relation?
Yes.
Did you know her mother?
No, she was adopted through an agency,
Okay.
and we fostered to adopt,
You
and
fostered
we've
to
had her. Yeah, we've had her since she was. We had her since she was 2 going on 3 years old.
Got you. So you
Yeah.
you essentially raised her.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I want to circle back once more against Jason. Do you believe Jason should be returned to Michelle?
I believe that if a mother wants to love her son, love her child, and raise her child, I believe that a mother should have that opportunity
Okay.
to love and raise her child.
With these
That's what I believe.
with these allegations, right? Is it reasonable to believe that both children should not be in Cora's custody because of the allegations are false, according to you?
I don't know how to answer that one either. All I know is that, like I said, I believe that a mother should have the opportunity to raise her child. I don't know if Cora has anything to do with this, to be honest with you. Like I said before, I don't know if this is a conspiracy. I don't know if it's a setup, but what I do know is what's been brought against me, and I know who brought it against me.
Who?
My daughter, apparently. Whoever has put together this idea about conspiracy, to tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't know if it's a setup, but I do know where I am.
Yeah.
So all I know is that my daughter has brought that against me.
Right.
That's what I do know.
So
Everything else, like I say, I'm trying to fight every angle, and considering every angle, because I'm the one left in the blind.
Right.
I'm the one in here, and nobody else.
That's right. So that's right. I understand that you are, it does, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just going to be real. It sounds like, because you don't know a lot, it seems like you're just trying to protect all of your corners and barriers. And it really does sound like you are trying to protect the likeness, maybe, or image of Cora. But it is possible that she is behind this, allegedly. And you have to start to play out that scenario, that if she is reasonably responsible for something like this, that might be something to consider, allegedly, right? I have to say that because I just have to keep it all the way legal. But that is something that should be reasonably considered, Brandon. If that's a reality, man, that'll crush my soul. That'll crush my soul, because everything I knew, everything I thought I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, that crushed my soul. Yeah. Do you still love Cora? I'm like this. Right now, I understand that my chapter with Cora is over. I understand right now, I gotta protect me.
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not the answer for you this year. You need real solutions, and therapy can help with that. As a therapist, I see the same pattern happen again and again at the same time every year. January rolls around, gyms fill up, diets begin, new planners are cracked open, and
this is another part.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. This system sucks, okay? This system sucks. So I apologize for all the missed calls and all those other things. So, you have court on Friday, correct?
Correct.
Yes. And so, I know you've probably been hearing from everyone to make sure that you let them know that you have fired that public defender.
Right. And I still hadn't heard nothing from him.
What do you think is going on with him?
Hold on, guys.
No, I really think that I know it's a money game. So I really just think that it's just a matter of holding on to
The case?
to everything you got, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially, to the case.
Hold on, guys.
But that's what I've been told, though. These attorneys out here tend to play hand in hand with, the system. So it's all money, and you're gonna squeeze everything they can out of it.
Yeah, right? Because that's how they get paid, right? To remain on the case. So if they give it up,
You
then
can hear
they
it,
don't
so
get
don't
paid,
worry about
which is
the
understandable. But at the same time, though, it's
going on
a
behind the
disservice to
scenes.
the legal system, right? You are allowed to have the counsel you so desire, even if that includes yourself, right? Like, just
Yeah, and that's like I've filed a couple of motions now of dismissal of counsel. So at this point, I feel like there's definitely major violations. So considering that they go through with this hearing, because I'm told most hearings get pushed back, but considering they do go through with it, like that's one of my first things is my constitutional rights, the 6th and the 14th,
that's right.
Being violated. So
that's right. So yeah, your constitutional rights.
A little bit, I've run into a couple of guys in here who really have been a benefit.
Yeah.
Kind of keep me on my toes and who've been down this road before.
Yeah, and getting you an understanding of your case. So when we talk about, right, the last time we spoke, we were just trying to figure out who knows what's going on, your theories behind how you ended up in this mess, and how you believe, or how you stated that voice recording with Amari and Cora sent it to you. And because of that, you kind of believe that she was attempting to help you, right? Like, clear this up, because you stated that you were having issues with Amari, and you might were going to send her to a boarding school because of her antics. I want to get into that a little bit deeper. So what were some telltale things that made you and Cora kind of sit down and be like, maybe she should be somewhere where she is more, a little more strictness and a little more structure? Like, what was she doing that made you want to sit down and even have that conversation?
Well, I mean, at that point, it was already like a build-up over, like, we've had her since she was 3. You know what I'm saying? And, like I said, even early on, it was already an issue, like, with how she responded with, her truth, or, just the simple things and simple tasks, you know what I'm saying? So, it was already an issue on the table, with lying, and that was one of the bigger things for...
Hang on.
Watch football all season long, live and cable-free with unlimited DVR.
Things for us to deal with early on was just be able to get you to trust us enough to be able to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
So you did have issues with Amari and her ability to tell the truth when she was caught doing something, right?
Oh, yeah. And she would keep it until you run her down in the dirt with, your evidence, or, look, I already know, And it was always that kind of thing. So, and that was one of the biggest frustrations for especially Cora.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those kind of things. And by that time that we're talking about boarding school, I think she's like, I want to say 11.
Okay.
And, we've done all of the, taking away privileges. We've done all of the, stripping of the, I guess different privileges and toys and, all that stuff. So
cell
at that
phones.
point, nothing. Like, took the tablet, she didn't have a phone at the time, but taking the tablet, taking the toys, you know what I'm saying, shut down TV, no computer, no outside type stuff, just kind of, think about you right now.
Yeah.
We did all of that. So at this point, it was like, look, what else do I do? And especially for Cora, it was one of those big things, and I understood exactly what she was saying.
Yeah.
Because it was the most frustrating thing, just trying to have a communication, and you can't seem to just tell the truth about what today is. It almost felt like that.
Yeah. So when Amari made these claims against you that night, they came back from Los Angeles, and then the days after, do you think Cora was having an issue believing her?
I think, for me, like I said, I'm torn between the ideas because at one side I do believe that she had trouble believing it. You know what I'm saying? She called me and tried to figure out where I was, trying to figure out what kind of state I was in, type situation, and trying to understand what's what and get clarity. But by this time, I think that she's already made whatever move she was going to make.
Mm-hmm.
So it was already kind of like I don't understand what's going on,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I can't honestly say one way or the other. But from my vantage point, being that I've known this woman for over 12 years, of course I want to believe that she knows me and she believes me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's kind of what I stood on.
Has that changed?
A lot has changed. So yeah, I like I said, I'm torn between the ideas of who's for me and who's against me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course, and I've had a lot of people who I don't even consider close like that who seem to know me better
Than your wife.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, then what has been shown to me from the people that I held close, you know what I mean?
Right. So, I mean, like, that's difficult, right? Like, you love your wife and you had a 12-year relationship with her, and then all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, wow, I don't really know this woman, Do you think that the reason why Cora stopped, like, sending you those videos and reaching out to you and all of those things, do you think it had any influence to do with her family telling her not to talk to you, or do you think she decided that on her own?
That's very possible. Mm-hmm. It's very possible considering, like I said, the circumstances and and her family is very close knit and they protect each other and they're gonna protect each other.
Yeah.
And so I don't doubt that at all.
Did you have a close relationship with the Jakes while you were with Cora?
Yeah. Like I said, everything is from my standpoint, my viewpoint. And from my viewpoint, it was very close.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, I gave love to everybody. And everybody gave love back.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. Which is interesting too, because now you don't even hear from them. I want to talk about the letter. So at the time, you had obtained an attorney, I forget his name, but he had wrote you this very detailed letter about how he did not like how the Jakes were moving in this entire situation. Do you remember that letter?
No.
It was sent to you a while ago. So I'll just label some references. So it stated that TD and Sarita were really just focused on their image and how this was going to make them look, and the way that they were operating with the whole, like, how do we spin this in the media? How are we going to look in the bright light of this? Made at the time your attorney quite uncomfortable, very uncomfortable actually, uncomfortable to the point where he would put it in a letter. Do you think that...
We travel in a van with our two cats, and this week we're visiting family. With auto ship from Chewy, we were easily able to push back our delivery to arrive.
Do you think that because of this whole situation, just your opinion, it's not about what you know, but based on your opinion, do you think that the Jakes do care more about their self-image when it comes to things that may come out against them or about their family members? Like, is their self-image important to them based off of your 12 years of being with the family?
I think ultimately I think they've always protected family. So I think image comes with that. So I mean, whatever that, yeah, I think that it does come with that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's okay if that's what you think. I mean, because granted, just based off of your case, you just seem like a casualty to them, right? So if they're about protecting family, is there a reason why they wouldn't protect you, right? Is there any reason? Did you give them anything to believe? Anything for them to just kind of toss you aside as a casualty?
No, I feel like I said, family. I think that with this particular situation, I think that it's just been, like I said, family is family. And that's kind of how I've taken it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't understand why, I wouldn't be, in the protection of it. But like I said, then again, like I said, family is family.
Right.
And so here I am.
Yeah, there you are. Do you think this is just a case of mistaken identity, or do you think there's a conspiracy behind this? Do you think this is a setup? What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Or do you think it's just something just that occurred accidentally that went too far?
Like I said, I think you kind of asked me something like this before, but I really do feel like in this case, in this particular circumstance, like I'm just having a tough time wrapping my head around conspiracy because, like I said, all I've ever seen and thought of was love. Now I've had issues. We've had issues with, our daughter forever. So this is not the first time this has come up. You know what I'm saying? This has come up with somebody else's name attached to it.
In the family?
No. It was a previous home. So for me, it was one of those kind of things. Like I don't know, like to conceptualize it. It's like I became the bad guy somewhere, and you just kind of utilize what you could or what you knew or how you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It just seemed like it was something that was familiar.
Yeah. Or do you think...
It was just a different seat.
Do you think that this alleged lie of Amari had snowballed to the point where Cora could have used it as a way to get out of the marriage?
I don't know. Because we just celebrated birthdays and anniversaries. It just, like I said, this just putting that in that kind of lens. It's just, like I said, for me, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah. So do you think? Do you know, or did you ever suspect that Cora was cheating on you? No.
No.
So you have no specific theory as to why you're here, right? Like you have no rhyme or reason to figure out why you're there.
No, you asked me, I think one call, not the last one, but maybe the one previous, and I think my thing is us talking about psychiatric help, and I think that for as long as I think Amari could remember, we would, share her story and her background, and she knew about her background, her mother's background, and we've talked about getting psychiatric help to make sure to see, if she had issues or mood swings would happen, things like that. And I think that me agreeing with Cora broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Because I always stood up for her. I always, hey, let's just see if talking through it helps, or let's just see if we can get an understanding, because, this, all those kinds of things like that. so much so that, like I said, I think I was the lifeline of Grace when it came to that. And
You stuck up for her, right?
Right. And I think that me agreeing, I think broke the camel's back. I think that's what I think. Because that same, like I said, the same night is the same night that I told her. I said, hey, we're looking into, possibly getting you, getting you evaluated.
And you think that was, you think because you had told Amari we might get you evaluated, this is what brought on this alleged lie, correct?
I think so, absolutely. I think that her being
Marcus is a connoisseur of anything that's free. So he was happy to read the disclaimer on TurboTax Free Edition.
Roughly 30.
I think that her being, I don't know, frustrated or disappointed or angry at the fact that this is something that we agreed on, and maybe, I don't know, maybe even her being seen as her mother. I don't know, may have, put her in this space.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, that's the only thing I can think of. Like, if I can be honest, that's the only thing I can think of.
That will lead to this.
Yeah.
So you have this conversation with Amari the night that they returned home from Los Angeles and with Cora and say, was there something, did you want, so let me just backtrack a little bit. So before you had this conversation with her the night that they returned, was the trip to Los Angeles as a way to kind of like cushion having that conversation? Or was that was well planned before you decided to do that?
No, this was the same night, well, it was, I think we had a phone call maybe like the night before, something like that. And, Cora was telling me how, she was having these in and out moments.
What?
Oh, okay, thank you.
In and out moments?
Yeah, where she was just having, mood swings. And, she's, I was told about, her and her cousin, of course, and I kind of expressed, like, their relationship. So, for me, that wasn't out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get on each other's nerves type thing or whatever. So it wasn't, like, out of the norm. So that was already, like, a precursor to this conversation. And then once we, and, I'm thinking, okay, well, of course, she loved California. She just want to stay, but school coming. She can't stay.
Yeah.
You can't have more time. No, school coming. Get home. You still frustrated or mad about this trip, and you still got school.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, Cora tells me, hey, you see what I'm talking about? We've talked about this many times. I think that she needs to be evaluated.
How was her behavior that day when she had, that conclusion, I'm home and I got to go to school? How was her behavior? Was she being emotionally erratic or silent? Or can you describe to us how she was acting?
Yeah, no, it was, upset. I got an attitude. And, just, how, I guess people walk around when they're frustrated and got that kind of attitude. So it became a conversation of like, yo, like, tighten up. Like, check, you take a moment, get yourself together. And, let's figure out what's what. Figure out what's making you like this so we can address it. And that was literally the conversation. Not 10 minutes later, she gets herself together. Okay, yes, I was frustrated. I did want to stay. Type, conversation. I'm like, okay, I get that.
Got you.
But you can't walk around here like that and changing the tone.
Right.
Of the house. And so it was that, like, it was day and night. And even after that conversation, of course, like, you see what I'm saying. And so, when she was talking about us, looking into getting help, I said, maybe it's time. Because we were already told early on that these kind of signs and symptoms could show up because of the genetic background.
Got you.
And so that was something that always kind of stuck with us. conversations that we would have between us two. And so that's something that we kind of kept our eye on, because they said, keep your eye on it. It could show up later. It could do this or that. So we always kind of kept our eye on it, And this was a moment where she brought it up, and I said, okay. And I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're telling me I have an attorney visit.
Okay.
So I will.
Well, I'll talk to you. We can schedule another call and a later date. All right. And good luck.
Okay, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. So this was a interview with Brandon Coleman and the person that published it. I think it's called Nosy Bystanders. I'm gonna show you the site so you can go see it for yourself and let it be known that credit is given to this person who originally put this out. Now, what stood out to me, there was a couple of things. In the beginning, he talked about the need to collect evidence, basically for his own protection for later. He didn't have a lot to say about this family, outside of him being a husband of one of them. They protect each other, regardless. The other thing is the attorney that he said wrote a letter, and he did get the letter, but he just don't recall it at this moment in time. The person that did the interview stated that it was sent to him, writing things about the characteristics of T.D. Jakes and the family response to Cora Jakes' allegations toward her husband. The other thing is the child. Now, one thing, look, let me tell you something. I'm almost 67. I'll be 67 in June. Teenagers, that's a messy situation right there. She's defiant from what they're saying. He's saying she had behavioral problems. But look at it like this. Cora Jakes took 2 women's children. And I know that she don't think later on down the line that these children are gonna rebut against her for the way she got them from their parents. And it's also traumatic for the children, and it's gonna cause some mental dysfunctions. And being that this young lady is a teenager, Amir is a teenager, she could do a lot of damage to both the husband and the wife. So this Jakes family situation, you guys, is not good. One thing I know is people who say they are Christ-driven, that they are Christians who believe, and they have monkeys on their back, those monkeys make them guilt by association, even if they were not guilty. Association. Now, typically, they are just like every other family. They go through the rivalry and all the fighting and bickering between each other. And this situation with this young man is very familiar in a lot of cases. Not personal, but I've seen it, where either the parent that want to get back at the husband accuse him of touching their child, even if he didn't, for some personal vendetta, or the child being a teenager wanting to get out of the house, which, believe me, I don't blame her. Because with Jakes' house right now, it is a hell-driven place. And it sounds like Brandon was the disciplinary toward her, and she did not like that. But Cora's response to it had a whole nother agenda to it. So, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He seems caught up in something that he never anticipated happening to him. And I got another comment out of him where he said he had to do what's right for him, and that he cannot share certain informations because that information, his name is Brandon Coleman. If he shared the information that he had, it's going to be basically on his behalf to get him out of situations. So I believe Brandon is collecting a lot of information on his family. And until he's safely in a position that he can tell it, he can't tell it because they got him like lynched up by a rope. Why? Because he's been accused of touching a child, and he's in a case right now, if it's not over, where he's jailed. He's talking from jail, and he's sort of like in between this monster beast of a family and himself. Now he's separated from them. He see the difference. And so he's collecting that information so he can literally protect himself. And when the time is right, I think he's going to release it. They still got him roped up. They can do a lot of damage to him. The lawyer even said in the letter, from what she read, that the way TDJ's family is acting, him and his wife and all the other parts of the family that's involved, they're acting very self-motivated, like they're going to protect themselves with all measures. And he was not going to get in the middle of that. Being a lawyer, for a lawyer to speak like that, that sounded like he was in a very dangerous situation, that he didn't want to get mixed up in the drama. Because the money talks, okay? That's what y'all need to know. Money talks. And he could do a lot, TD could do a lot of damage in the process, and that wasn't one of the things the lawyer wanted to be involved in. So, with Brandon being in this situation, this is my final belief. It sounds like he's very innocent. I think he's innocent from hearing his voice, how he speaks. You can tell in the tone of someone if they're guilty or not. Just like TD Jakes is guilty, the way he's talking. This guy's talking, and you could feel that something is being done to him against his will that he didn't expect to happen. One thing I do know, Cora ain't a good-looking woman. She ain't a good-looking woman, but she had a good-looking man. And for her to just give it up and walk away like that, to me, you know, she really smelling herself. That's how I feel about it. He got his head on his shoulder, right? And I hope he's collecting all the information in the world he can get. And I hope that they don't silence him. You know, the Jakes family got a lot of power, and that's dangerous for a man of God to have that much power over people's lives, that they can damage them at will. So it's a very scary situation. I wanted to bring this to you because I found it on, that came up on my page because I looked him up. And, you know, YouTube, when you look someone up, they sort of find every video related to that name and pop it in your feed so that you'll see it. So as a copyright, I give credit to the person who publicated this, which is Nosy Bystanders. That's her site. That's the name of her site. So you want to look it up, put it in the search, and the 3 interviews should pop up. So it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, guys. It's a lot going on. And I hope that everybody out there will kind of take it easy on people, because reality is we all fall short and we're all sinners. And, you know, in my eyes, there's three things God said he hates: a lying tongue, pride of life, and the lust of the eye. Those three things carry in a whole lot of categories. Don't think sex is the only thing under lust, okay? There's a whole lot of things under that category. There's a whole lot of things under a lying tongue. There's a whole heap of things under pride, which to me is what a lot of these preachers are showing today in their commentaries about church, God, and women, and all these other things. And some of y'all in the comment was really protecting Jennings, like I said something that made me dislike him or made you think I dislike. I don't dislike Jennings. I think he's got a lot of pride. You can see it. You can feel it. He's got a lot of ego as well. And when you giving food to the people of God, of godly food to the people, you got to do it in love. I don't care what nobody say. If you don't do it in love, it's not going to be received, and people will get offended. People will get offended. Even if it's the truth, people will be offended. Because if you're not giving it in love, it's not going to be received in love. So all this backstabbing stuff going on, I just feel like we need to stop. We need to pray for these people. At the same time, you know, God called final judgment. He's the one that calls final judgment on everything. And in the end, if this is publicated, it was meant to be. Okay? All this other stuff behind the scenes with TDJ's protecting himself and lashing out and doing all these things, he's doing it because he's caught. And Jenkins think that he can come out there and rebuke him. Jenkins is not God. People saying TDJ's going to hell. You're not God. Ain't nobody, you don't have the power to put nobody in hell. These people out here making comments that are conducive to their judgment and not God's judgment. Yes, you can call a thing what it is. You can say what you see. You can comment how you feel about what you see. But to have a judgment on the end of it and say, oh, he's going to hell, you might be the one going to hell. You think you're doing right? You ain't always right either. You can't, no man has the power to put a person under judgment of hell or anything else. The final judgment is going to come from God. Okay? You must know this. Be careful how you open your mouth and cast final judgment on people. I'm not saying you can't talk what you see and know what you're talking about, because the Bible did say that the church will judge the church. The church will judge the world. And in order for that to happen, you have to be put in a situation where you can see enough evidence to make that judgment call. But you don't have a judgment of hell on anybody. I really love T.D. Jakes. I love his ministry. I love his spirit. But lately, his demeanor has changed. And when a person's demeanor changed that big, something's going on behind the scenes that is not of God. So I just wanted to share this, share something I found, and I hope that you guys will get something out of it. And in the end, you know, pray for T.D. Jakes, pray for Jennings. You know, I don't have no problem with him other than the things I said I had a problem with him with. And that's my opinion. I don't care what you think. It's my opinion. He's harsh and he's egotistical when it comes to men and women. You know, he does this thing. I don't hear you men. And they all go, woo, woo. You hear a whole bunch of men, but do he ever say to the women, I don't hear, it's like he's, okay, I'm going to leave that alone because, you know, I could go some places with that. But anyway, that's what I had to share, and hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.